If you want cheap Microsoft points and game codes, check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below.
Hey guys, it's Melvin7 here, and today I'm bringing you match day 24 of the BPL, my predictions for it against the Merseyside. Now, it's really annoying me this series because I'm getting a lot of the results, but I'm like one goal off. For example, this week, last week, Newcastle won 3-0. I said it was going to be 2-0, and obviously I only get a point for that. Arsenal, I said would win 4-0, they won 5-0. I only get a point, I don't get the 3 points. Manchester United, I said would win 3-0, and we won 3-1. It's like a goal difference, and what's annoying me even more is that, for example, the Arsenal game, the Merseyside said it would be 2-0 to Arsenal. I said 4-0, it was 5-0, but we both get 1 point for that, even though I was 2 goals closer, and I knew it would be a rout. He said 2-0, which is a fairly solid result, whereas 4-0 is a rout, and it's just annoying me, because that is happening a lot of the time. He's picking up the exact same points as me, because even though he's like quite a distance off a lot of the predictions some of the time. But yeah, I suppose it is what it is, and he's on 77, and I'm on 55, I think. No, he's on 78 and I'm on 55, so I'm 23 points behind. Really need to catch up. Hopefully I can get lucky with the results as well as the scores. Sorry, the other way around. The scores as well as the results, because I get a lot of the results right, just not the scores. I'm always 1 or 2 goals off. It's really annoying. But anyway, let's just get straight into my predictions. In the first game, we've got the North London Derby. We've got Spurs up against Arsenal. Should be a thrilling game. Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen have been doing ridiculous. Sanchez is injured for this game though, but Ozil has really stepped up the mark since his injury problems. So yeah, I think he's going to be a major threat. Giroud's look good. You know, Arsenal are in a bit of a purple patch, but for me, both sides are very evenly, and just because of Eriksen and Kane, if they perform, they're going to be a handful for Arsenal. For me, I'm going to say it's going to be a huge score, and I'm going to go 3-3. In the next game, we've got Aston Villa up against Chelsea. Now, Aston Villa were completely walked over against Arsenal, 5-0. You know, they tried to go punch for punch, but it did not work. Arsenal destroyed them. Chelsea, on the other hand, they had a good 1-1 draw against City. They didn't want to lose it, obviously. So, yeah, this time they'll be looking for the 3 points. It's Jose Mourinho, let's be honest. I reckon it's going to be another thrashing for Aston Villa. Sorry, any Villa fans. 4-0 Chelsea. Next game, we've got Leicester up against Crystal Palace. This is going to be a really interesting game. Pardew, it got his first loss against a struggling Everton, who seem to, well, obviously it's only one result, but we'll see how that affects their form. But Palace, their first loss under Alan Pardew. They've had a lot of new signings to adapt. I think they've had 7 signings. Then you've got Leicester, who obviously got beat 3-1 against us, but have been on a good reign of form. They've had some difficult fixtures, so for me it's going to be very difficult, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. In the next game, we've got Manchester City up against Hull City. Hull have been terrible, let's be honest, recently. Even when they had Jelavic and Hernandez come back, they had chances against Newcastle, just never finished them off. So, City, on the other hand, a 1-1 draw against Chelsea. They're going to be wanting to bridge the gap. Aguero's been back for about 2 to 3 weeks, so expect him to be hitting the form that he usually does when he's not injured, basically. And I think everyone is fit who's eligible to play. Obviously, Boney and Toure are still at the AFCON. So, for me, a whitewash. I'm going to go 5-0 Manchester City. In the next game, we've got QPR up against Southampton. Now, QPR have been dreadful recently. And, yeah, obviously, Harry Redknapp has now left as a manager. So Les Ferdinand is the director of football. They don't actually have a manager. I think the vice manager or the assistant manager is now the temporary manager. So yeah, they're gonna, you know, be looking to not lose for me, and I'm gonna predict a shock in this. Even though Southampton have looked really good, they were very unlucky to lose last week. Trying to remember who was against. It was against Swansea. They were very lucky, 1-0 loss, but unlucky thanks to a ridiculous Jojo Shelby goal. But for me, QPR just will not want to lose this and not going to want to drop points. It's at Loftus Road, so I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Bit of a shock result. Anyway, in the next game, we've got Swansea up against Sunderland. You know, Swansea picked up a much-needed victory for Gary Monk. I think that's his first victory in about a month. And Sunderland, on the other hand, won 2-0 against Burnley, and potentially a 6-pointer for them. So, you know, they're in a good vein of form. Jermaine Defoe got a goal. Traditional poacher. He's basically an older version of Falcao, just not as prolific. Oh, obviously Falcao's played for better clubs, Atletico Madrid, etc. But we'll not get into that. Anyway, Sunderland Swansea, I think it's going to be fairly high scoring. I'm going to say 2-2 draw. In the next game, we've got the Merseyside derby. Some big derbies this week in other leagues as well, like the Madrid derby. But anyway, Everton versus Liverpool. This is unpredictable, okay? No matter what form each side are going into, obviously Liverpool, a purple patch like Arsenal, have been fantastic recently. That's coming from a United fan. They've really found their form. Sturridge obviously might start this because now he's back. He scored within 12 minutes. Coutinho's been doing fantastic. Sterling's been working well. Gerrard's putting the balls over. You know, it's a good system, but the defence is last thing, and Everton just finally got a win. And as I say, it's at Goodison Park. The last time these two sides played, it was a 1-1 draw thanks to a wonder strike from Jagielka. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. It's draws galore this week for me. I reckon Everton are going to get a 1-1 draw against Liverpool. I really hope that Everton win, but recently Liverpool have been fantastic, so I'm going to go 1-1 Everton Liverpool. In the next game, we've got Burnley going up against West Brom. Now, Burnley lost 2-0 to Sunderland. You know, there's been speculation that Danny Ings would leave, but he never did, so he stayed at the club. Maybe that'll give them a little bit of a boost. Whereas Tony Pulis got battered. Well, he didn't really, in fairness. It was 3-0, flat scoreline for Spurs. West Brom had their chances of their own. So for that reason, I reckon West Brom, they're going to want to fight back. They're going to really want to take the fight to Burnley. So I'm going to say 2-1 West Brom. I reckon they can overturn them. In the second last game, we've got Newcastle up against Stoke. Now, Stoke beat QPR 3-1, pretty resounding result. You know, everyone's beat QPR so far that have played them away from home. QPR being the away side, obviously. Then Newcastle, a very, very good result against Hull. It could have been 3-3, but Hull just didn't take their chances. Newcastle, under John Carver, a lot more attacking than they are under Alan Pardew, but the defensive structure is a little bit worse, in my opinion. So, there's going to be goals in this game, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 victory for Newcastle. In the last game, we've got West Ham going up against my team. Now, Paul Merson, last week, he said that Leicester would draw against us because he likes David Nugent. This week, he thinks West Ham will win because Manchester United are close to a loss or some bullshit. Merson's a shit pundit, man. No wonder he's bottom of the pundits table on Sky Sports for predicting results. Useless, biased bastard. Anyway, it's nothing to do with him. West Ham, disappointing result against Liverpool. I was hoping they could get something, but Liverpool walked all over them. They're going to be looking for some confidence, but Andy Carroll's out, Coyote's out. Obviously, they had that problem with Diafra Sakho. They've got a fine now. So maybe that's hit them in midweek. I mean, it's not much. They're still in the FA Cup as well. Whereas we just beat Cambridge 3-0. Obviously, it's a League 2 side, but we beat Leicester 3-1. In the first half, we played very well. If we start as explosive as we did against Leicester and then carry that on for the second half, like we did against West Ham last time when Rooney got sent off and we won 2-1, then we can do very well. And for me, I think we're going to win this 3-1. So yeah, there are my predictions. Let's see how the Mystery see, well, what predictions he did, and let's compare them and see what the score is, because I haven't said that yet. Actually, I have. Fuck this.
Alright guys, so our predictions are fairly similar. We've got the same result for Aston Villa versus Chelsea, 4-0. Also with City versus Hull, we've said 5-0 for City, but apart from that, there's a lot of differences. He thinks Tottenham will beat Arsenal, which I personally hope, being a Man United fan, as Arsenal are closer to us than Spurs, but a draw would be a good result as well. Leicester and Palace, he thinks Pardew will win that one. QPR and Southampton, obviously most people will say Southampton will win. Swansea Sunderland, exact same result. Liverpool Everton, he thinks Liverpool will win that one. Burnley, he thinks they will draw with West Brom. Newcastle, he thinks they'll win 3-1, whereas I say 3-2. And Man United, he says 2-1 Man United, whereas I say 3-1. So a lot of similarities and a lot of differences as well. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below, and yeah, peace.